And Nancy Pelosi has a little problem because her husband sold their Visa stock. They had a lot of Visa stock one day before Visa was announced that Visa is being sued by the Department of Justice. Think of that. Nancy Pelosi sold vast amounts of Visa stock one day before the big lawsuit that we all read about a few days ago was brought against Visa. You think it was luck? I don't think. She should be prosecuted. Nancy Pelosi should be prosecuted for that.
Today, we announced a prototype of Orion. We wanted to show the demo to people, just to show what we've been working on. It's the most advanced pair of glasses ever made. It's lightweight. It's got really powerful computing in it. You can see through it, so you can make eye contact, but they project a holographic display so that you can summon a screen, or you can look at your messages, you can watch video, you can have a video chat with somebody. We've been investing for this for a long time just because we are asking the question sort of what comes after the smartphone and what happens in a world where you're not sort of constantly checking a phone.
Back to China again,
which I think is the biggest thing that people really have to go and understand it, because it has implications all over in bonds, currencies, and stocks. We didn't talk about the currencies and bond side.
But just with the stocks themselves, I'm just thinking of your positions. Alibaba was a huge position. You really loaded up in the first quarter. You cut back, I think, in the second quarter. What are you doing now? Did the China moves over the last few days, but just because you were saying in the past you wouldn't go more than 10 or 12%, or the most recent things we've seen are that you have about 12% of Alibaba. Does that mean you put those aside and you would own even more than that?
As I said, the value at risk model is what I sleep at night. I had a fine. I went over that limit on the Fed announcement, okay, in the last week. I went more when they said a day or two ago on their Fed, and last night I did more.
Just Alibaba, or are you talking JD, Baidu, PDB, the two Chinese ETFs, everything China?
ETF, how we do futures, right? Mm-hmm. Everything. Listen, a long time ago in 2010, I think I said everything.
And you would say everything. I remember when you said everything.
And you know what's good?
You were right.
Everything. Okay. So if they, this is incredible stuff for that place. Okay. So it's everything. Now I would love to see a pullback. Okay, because I will then my newfound limit, which might have been twice my old found limit.
25%?
You said 10 to 12. It's double.
20 to 24%. So
I'm not going to say what it is.
Is the limit 25?
I will have another newfound limit, okay, in a pullback, okay, if I see these absolutely be implemented. Because, again, you can look at these names, and you're talking about single-digit PE multiples with double-digit growth.
But you think there's
wait a second. Yeah. This is the other thing. You have some of these stocks with 50% cash. Some of these things you just put up on the board, 50% cash, 20% cash, 30% cash. And that cash, depending how the Chinese currency goes, maybe if the Chinese currency is really strong, they'll want them to buy back.
Okay, so David, let me ask you
They're asking, did you see this thing? Buying back stock, when companies buy back their stock.
Right, but you're...
So,
what about the relationship between the United States and China? How the Chinese government may or may not feel about American investors, but maybe more importantly, how the American government feels about U.S. investors investing in China, too. What's the risk? How do you,
that would be a risk, and that's why you have limits on how much you would invest. However,
you just said you don't have those
the other thing I thought you were going to ask is about tariffs and stuff like that. I do not care.
Yeah.
This is internal stimulus. In the fiscal stimulus they did last night, they're going to encourage consumption, directly saying it. So they're really doing all the things that people have asked them to do over these years. So what will happen on world markets? So now you want to talk with the United States. Most of your viewers are here in the United States.
Or Europe or Japan.
Oh, you started
on Japan.
Okay, so we can go around the world. Obviously, this is incredibly good for very undervalued Chinese equities, okay? Especially when the government's encouraging
the buybacks.
Buybacks, and for you to take risk to buy stock. Right. Take a loan out, buy stock. You can't lose money on your loan. Great deal for me. I would, if you want to be Chinese, is Sorkin a Chinese name? No. Okay, sorry. Anyway, sorry. So you have, so United States. So you have this world, and so I'm trying to figure the United States. So it's not really your first plug to go to invest right now, because you would say China first, Asia second, right? Asia at large second.
Okay.
Japan, then Japan, Korea, those markets. Also, actually, Asia and Europe before Japan. And I will tell you why. The problem with, you have to be careful a little bit about Japan, although I think it's still you want to be in the equity markets. If you look what happens, if China runs and they get the economy going and you get the animal spirits going, what happens? Chinese throw a lot of money in their economy. Who's one of the biggest beneficiaries in their own economy? Is Japan. And Japan, if they start running faster, I don't care what this election is, and they're worried about this candidate and that candidate. Some candidates might want to go to Abenomics, and I don't care. They don't even understand it yet. This just happened last night. The market doesn't understand it yet. What's going to happen? Japan's going to run too fast if they really stimulate there. And when Japan runs too fast, they're going to have to raise rates. And when they raise rates, the yen's going to appreciate. And if the yen appreciates, then you have to be careful about the stock market. It was before what they did last night. I thought, they were going to start doing things, and they would have the room because of what the Fed did. The Fed basically, lowered 50 basis points, and they used the magic word about, 5 times, 10 times recalibrate. Recalibrate's a really interesting word because they said we have room. Besides this, we're going to do something. I don't know if they're going to do what the market has in it, but they're going to do something besides the 50. Another 25, 25, 25 seems like has to be done because they're basically, a long time ago I told you that you have to do what people tell you to do. The Fed puts out a white paper, you listen to what the Fed does. The Treasury does. Governments do what they tell you they're going to do. And the Fed told you they're going to recalibrate interest rates. And what that means is they have a lot of room between, where inflation's running and where interest rates are, and they think they're pretty tight, and they have to bring it back towards neutral. So does that mean...
Turn that game off. While your country is crumbling, you got a nerve to watch the game. Let's get into the video. Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. We'll be putting out plenty of videos this weekend because I'll be free. But guys, I have a story to tell you. It's getting bad out here. I was taking my boys to the circus. Now, I was supposed to get them online. Now, online, they had 4 tickets for $28. But listen to me. I decided not to get them online. Somebody had offered to give me free tickets, but I turned them down. I decided to go to the box office. Guess how much these tickets were? Adult was $67, and the kids were $32 each. And I'm talking about one of these off-brand circuses. They definitely had the hustle on, but it wasn't going to hustle me. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. But getting into the video, I just had to tell you that it's getting bad out here. Oh yeah, parking was $15, and you parked on grass. It is unbelievable. But guys, we have Trump on Nancy Pelosi selling Visa stock before the Visa news came out about them being sued by the DOJ. But guys, we've seen this plenty of times. We've seen the movie before. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now we have Meta demos, the glasses, the holographic screen. I told you guys it was coming. I told you. And what did he use? The terminology? Summon. And we know it's all about the gent. I've done plenty of videos on it. But the cell phone is going to eventually be a thing of the past. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have David Tepper giving us the truth. And remember, guys, finances is born. And the times that we're living in right now is the revenge of the nerds. And what did he say about China? Buy everything. And remember, guys, this is supposed to be our adversary. But we know all the billionaires have been in China building from the beginning. I've been over it too many times when I first started, letting you know all the money, all the banks getting approved to get into China. Remember, guys, it's going to be the fall of America to Babylon. along with the United States World Reserve Currency and the rise of China the Dragon with that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And remember, the Crypto Teacher wrote about it a long time ago and been telling you about it here for a long time. Remember, guys, this is biblical. And we have Japan will raise rates, and we know it's definitely going to cause a rumble in the stock market while we have the Fed cutting rates. And all those trillions and trillions of dollars that are sitting in these money market accounts right now, because they were getting that easy 5% as the Fed start cutting rates, that money is going to start flowing, and they're going to want to go to the cheapest place with the biggest benefit, and that's the emerging markets. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Janet Yellen on the debt, and we know she's on her way out because she's already done her job. Remember, Yellen and Gary Gensler were the NWO chess pieces to get us landed in the fourth industrial revolution, and we're almost there. But this debt has to get under control. That's how we know it's going to be a government shutdown. They approved the actual extension, I think, until December. One of my Patreon members sent that to me. But guys, as they start cutting this deficit, layoffs are going to pick up. And it's been so many layoffs, I haven't even been posting them. Nurses have been getting laid off by the thousands. Car companies. We had Disney today. I mean, it's layoff after layoff. Bankruptcies after bankruptcies. It be so many, I can't even post them. That's how crazy it is. And it doesn't matter whether we get Kamala or Trump. They all have the mission for the fourth industrial revolution. We have CNBC poll from the CFOs say that Kamala is most likely going to win. Guys, that makes no sense whatsoever. It's all the Hegelian dialectic and all this news about Kamala winning. It just have me thinking that Trump is going to win by a landslide. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
But if you can't get the revenue, isn't it prudent not to do the spending?
Well, I think it's important to be on a fiscally sustainable course. And the approach that our administration has taken is that we want to be able to invest in ways that will boost growth and do so in an equitable way, whether it's investing in industries of the future.
And as we count down, 55% of CFOs, they believe that Vice President Kamala Harris will win the White House. In this tightly contested race, 13% say, well, they're still not sure about the outcome. It's really a dramatic reversal from a quarter ago when 58% believed that former President Trump would defeat then candidate President Biden. 29% of CFOs, they were unsure of the outcome then between those two candidates.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, is time to re-educate. Also, if new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.